My dear friend, thank you for being here, and thank you for being you. You are really, really special. This little video is about a really, really amazing and important subject. It's about probiotics and prebiotics. It's something that is mentioned, everywhere in the natural health world, because we humans have become aware that there's something that we really, really need to understand. And it's mainly because one of the reasons why we are so sick and so toxic is that the probiotics that should be in our body are not there. And it's like everything else in nature. So it's like everything else in nature. Probiotics are everywhere, and they are little tiny microscopic organisms that are just life-producing. They act in all processes of nature. So, like here, everywhere, in nature, in the soil, in the on the surface of everything, there is probiotics. In this beautiful sheep here, Lucy, she's full of probiotics. And when I kiss her, some of her probiotics go onto my mouth and into my system. And that's how people have been living ever since the beginning of time. They've been living close to nature. So all the probiotics they needed came into their bodies. See, when we're born, there are no probiotics on our skin or in our digestive tract. We're completely sterile. And when we come out through our mother's vagina, which luckily most of us do, we actually drink some of the liquid that is in our mother's vagina, and that's the first probiotics we get into our body. And if our mother is healthy and she has good beneficial probiotics in her body, she will actually give them to us. So it's like something we inherit from our parents. And these probiotics will go straight down into our stomach and into our intestines, and they live there. They start to live there. And then everything, because it's everywhere in the air, so if you're born in a hospital, all the probiotics that are around there, or it can be the beneficial ones or the pathogenic ones, which are bad bacteria, they get into our system and they just live there. And so the problem for many of us is, like for instance me, my mother had a bad microflora in her gut, I'm pretty sure. And when you have it in your gut, you have it in your vagina. And so when I was born, I had a not very good microflora in my body. And then in the 60s, all they did, nearly every time you had some sort of infection, you would get antibiotics. So I got that again and again and again. And antibiotics means no life. It kills life. So every time I got it, all the bacteria that were there, the good and the bad, they were killed off. So again and again, my body had to all the time try to build up the probiotics inside me, and they never really, it got to be very pathogenic bacteria that lived in me, and that's the problems I'm dealing with now. And why are probiotics so important? Well, they say that, well, first of all, you've probably heard this many times, there are so many cells in our body, it's trillions, but there's actually 10 times as many bacteria in our gut. So we're 10 times more bacteria than we are cells. So it's a huge amount, and I think it's something like 2 kilos of probiotics we have in our intestines and on our skin, everywhere where it's sort of open to the environment. So it's a major part of us. And the other thing they found out is that actually our immune system comes from this bacteria flora that's in our gut. It's 70% of our immune system is actually situated in there. So if we get anything into our system, like a cold that's in the air, bacteria that's everywhere, it's our bacteria inside us that's are supposed to kill it off. And if they're not healthy, they can't do it. So we get the cold and we get the disease. So we need probiotics to be healthy. And you can say the more beneficial bacteria you have, the more healthy you are. So I've written some things down, and well, as I mentioned, we have the beneficial bacteria and we have the pathogenic bacteria, and we want the most of the beneficial bacteria. The pathogenic bacteria, which are the ones that create disease, will always be in there. But the main thing for us is to make sure that we have most of the beneficial bacteria. And actually some of the pathogenic bacteria, they have a function in our body. So we're not supposed to really kill anything off. We just have to find the balance so that there's the right proportion. So anyway, how do we get these, now that most of us have this problem that we lack the beneficial bacteria in our system, and apparently, as I've read in a book I bought recently, the bacteria, the actual, I mean, it's unique. The bacteria you have in your body, the way it's mixed out of the hundreds of different types there are, or maybe thousands, yours is unique. And when it sort of gets there and it settles down, no matter how bad it is, it's actually very, very hard to change it, because it's like it's become a part of our system. So to actually change the microflora in your gut is quite a process. But as you, many of you know about the probiotic foods, I mean, when you eat probiotic vegetables, probiotic, I mean, everything fermented is filled with probiotics. And actually everything raw, so like the raw milk, a raw salad, and especially when it's organic, because of course the vegetables they grow with chemicals have very few probiotics on them. So we want something that's as alive and as pure as possible. Then we get the most probiotics. So, but I found out just recently, I've been learning more and more, and I found out that kefir, which is a really, really potent probiotic food or drink, has mainly the bacteria that we have in our small intestine. So not the ones that are in our bowel, in our colon. And apparently 90% of all our microflora is actually in our bowel. So I realized that when you're drinking kefir, you're feeding, I mean, you're really, really doing something good. There's no doubt about it. But you're not actually feeding the colon so much, because it's mainly bifido or bifido bacteria, the ones that are in yogurt. They are the ones also called the thermophilic bacteria. They're the ones that live in our colon. So we need to have many of those bifido bacteria also. So and the two different types, like the ones that mainly live in the kefir, they're mainly the mesophilic bacteria, like I've mentioned before in cheese making. You have the mesophilic bacteria and the thermophilic bacteria. And the mesophilic, they like sort of a lukewarm temperature, whereas the thermophilic, they like the higher temperatures. So when you're making a yogurt, for instance, you will heat up the milk to maybe 39 degrees Celsius, which is, I mean, it's more than body heat, and that's what they prefer. And of course, when you're making the kefir, you have it in room temperature, so you're giving good conditions for all the mesophilic bacteria. So how do you get these? Well, the last one I want to mention is the soil-based. I mean, there's probably many more, but these are just the main groups. There's the soil-based bacteria, and I tried for a period of time to actually just take some soil and eat it. Oh, that tasted funny. But soil has been part of our life, I mean, always, because there's been soil on our animals, on our food, so we've actually been eating soil. And the soil-based microorganisms, they don't reside in our gut, they don't stay there, they move on. So if you want to have soil-based microorganisms, which are actually very, very, very healing because they're very strong and they kill off many pathogenic bacteria. If you want to have them, you have to sort of have an even supply of the soil-based. And I found this product, which I started taking because I thought I'd make sure I got these soil-based, which are supposed to be very, very good for you. You take one or two a day in the beginning, and then you take maybe just 2 times a week after that. So we have these 3, the mesophilic, the thermophilic, and the soil-based. These are the ones I want to talk about. So this is one way you can get the soil-based if you don't want to just start eating the earth. And it sounds mad. Of course it has to be organic earth, but the earth is filled with microorganisms. And I always learned that, oh, you mustn't get earth into your mouth because you're going to get worms. But actually there might be one worm egg there. I mean, if you're really lucky or really unlucky, but the amount of probiotics that are there that will kill off the worm egg are huge. So we shouldn't be afraid. I mean, nature is where we come from. So why should the soil be dangerous? It's stupid. So you just get to see how stupid you've been for so long. It's just amazing. So I'd like to talk about these thermophilic bacteria, the bifido. And I got this product the other day because I haven't been making yogurt for a long time because I've been using the kefir, but then I thought maybe I should get myself some yogurt because it is known to be a very powerful healer. And because when you have candida, it is your colon, the candida actually, overgrowth of candida, the candida will be living mainly in your colon. That's where they sort of breed and they love to be. And if I don't have enough probiotics in my colon, they're actually more or less, they're in power. They're dominating the site and making me sick still. So I thought I have to get these thermophilic bacteria into my system. So I've started making this, and I'll make a video where I show how you make this. It's very simple. And this is did I show it to you? Bio yogurt. And it's got these amazing amounts. So it's not just a normal Bulgarian yogurt. It's a special one with many of the thermophilic yogurt bacteria. I'll just read what's in there. There's Lactobacillus bulgarius, which is the traditional Bulgarian yogurt culture. There's the Streptococcus thermophilus. There's the Bifidobacterium bifidum, Bifidobacterium infantis, Bifidobacterium longum, Bifidobacterium breve, Bifidobacterium adolescentis. I don't know if I said this right, but there's many of these very powerful probiotics in this. And you get these little capsules, 10 capsules, and you make it. This will last. It did cost me about £15, I think, but it will last for many years if you make it in the right way. So this is a powerful way to get your bifidobacteria into your gut. And they actually say that a lot of them die on the way, which is pretty sad. You're feeding yourself this beautiful probiotic, and they actually die when they reach the stomach, many of them, because the stomach acid is so strong. And as what's her name, Natasha Campbell McBride says, many people who have an abnormal gut flora actually have not got very much stomach acid, so they do actually survive. But if you want to make sure you have these in your colon, you can actually make an implant, which is you actually you could actually put it into your colon with an enema bag. Just put a little bit in, and it will go in there, and it will spread and grow. So that's sort of putting it in both ways. I want to mention another thing about probiotics, like I've mentioned many times before. Everything that is in our body, the whole energy of our body, the way our body works, is affected by how we feel. And of course, when we're stressed, we know that stress is the #1 worst thing. When we're stressed or negative towards ourselves, not only our cells feel this and are stressed, they don't work as well, but actually also our probiotic sense this. So if you want to replenish your gut, you cannot just neglect how you feel. So healing your gut and bringing all the life back into your system, like this beautiful sheep has, needs you to be positive. See how calm she is? That is so healthy for our gut flora. So take care and see you soon.